All right, we are ready to roll. I think. Did I go offline? No. Hold on, sorry. There we go. We're good. Okay. My computer froze for a second. All right. Hello and welcome. Thank you all for coming to this episode of Lost Legacy. Uh, I don't know what I named this game, but I'm sure it's fine. It's probably cool. Everyone knows that.
Butts and more butts.
Sweet. That is the right answer. Empire of Desire is what I named this episode. Um, but why don't we do some introductions and then kind of give a little bit of a recap and tell us more stuff about this channel? And we will start with Tom.
Hello, everybody. I'm Tom. I'm going to be completely lost. Um, I'm playing our resident cleric, the only cleric, best cleric.
Wow.
Uh,
Shots fired.
my a secret about my character is that he's definitely a cleric, as the party is sorting out. Um, I'm looking forward to eventually having a good night's sleep.
Oh, you will definitely have a good night's sleep coming up. All right,
Yeah.
next we will have Rennie.
Well, hello. My name is Rennie. I am playing Disbin Tinderfoot, Goblin Paladin of the Oath of the Vigilant. Um, Fun fact about Dizzy: when he was training at the Bastion of the Strong, he took up gardening as a hobby. As for other stuff, you can find me at startplayinggames.com, where you can request my services as a dungeon master and see some possible campaigns that I am running.
Yeah. Thank you, Rennie. Next will be Norm.
Hey everybody, I'm Norm. I'll be playing Kellen. He is a gnome. He's an artificer, but the party's definitely hurting in the way of clerics, so I'm really thinking about going in that direction too, just so we can get some high quality clericism going on there.
I'll go cleric too. Let's do it the whole way around.
On a personal note, I am appearing in a play. I was supposed to send a graphic to Gene, but I've been busy. But if anybody knows, Old Academy Players is in Philadelphia. It's been around for many, many years. That's where Grace Kelly got her start. I'm appearing in a play called The Dining Room, which opens a week from Friday. So Google Old Academy Players and you will see it. And please come see me.
Yep. I've been to many plays Norm has been in, and he's always fantastic. But our missing player, who's a blurry screen, that is Sam, and he will be playing Otisesh, but he's an adult doing adult things, so he should join us shortly. All right, so let's go into a little bit about us, which is if you're watching this channel on Twitch, you get channel points, and those channel points can be used to give the group or myself inspiration by expending them. Um, Giving them to the group is much cheaper than giving them to me because I will generally use them against them, and they're the heroes, and I'm just the guy. Um, and so let's kind of go in a little bit of a recap. It's been about a month or so, so let's get frosty. So the heroes had entered the town of Draven's. Wow. Oh, I almost said Draven's Rest. Oh boy, good times. Castle Grim, where they found out that there were children missing, and people were having terrible night's sleep. There they met definitely a cleric named Heath, who was being thrown out of a wizard's tower, which they were seeking information. They met up with some different colorful characters, went to a fancy bar that apparently was on the former smithy of Sir Garth the Strong, the legendary hero that is the founding of the Order of the Vigilant. As they explored the town, they kind of learned that there is a weird burial mound on the outside of town, like some sort of underground weird ice city thingy, unsure, but it's more or less called a barrow, and that people of the Temple of Three, which are essentially the death gods, kind of have been trying to hire out adventurers to investigate if there's some weird wrongness or something happening, but no one has taken a call to the order. During this time, when they met up with Heath, they found out that he was also kind of going up against their joint enemy, the Cult of Tenebris, because he apparently had a friend who knew a guy who got infected by the cult, which was definitely not him. And as they kind of revealed all this information to each other, they all split off to kind of gather information. Disbin went with the as he found out, Thrag, the actual current leader of the Order of the Vigilant in the city, who is now taking care of getting you supplies to take your adventure when you are finished with Castle Grim over toward Fulguratus. But you need to get certain supplies and equipment that mundane tasks like you guys don't need. But during this time, Disbin found out information about a strange manor house that spooky, weird lights were coming from that Thrag just didn't have the time to investigate, but might be worth investigating for the party. There, Heath and Odyssesh also, they went to this this kind of orrery, kind of like telescope, which was a temple to the dragon god that represents. Let me pull up my notes. Why am I just doing it off the top of my head like I can have a good memory? The Starlight Observatory, which is the Temple of Lunaris, where Keith has a contact named Daryl Adamar, and she said that she could help you maybe, scry using the augury into, information or contacting another plane or kind of just divining. Heath being a priest and Odyssesh definitely being a priest, decided to assist in this task. They began asking questions about the Cult of Tenebris and also what is happening in the town. And when they asked their last question, something looked back. It shattered the orrery, and then Heath and Odyssesh were definitely not marked by whatever saw them. But they saw it, and they saw that it was 3 old women of different descriptions. One wearing a long silk gown, another, old withered like horns and dusky skin, all women of nightmares. And they saw that it was deep underground. After that, during this time, Kellen decided to have a polite and civil conversation with completely logical questioning and motivation to the Wizard Tower, though in his defense, the wizards were very rude to him. When he came and definitely did not proclaim secrets of the realm to them at the top of his lungs, they thought he was a raving madman and kicked him out. And Kellen was none too plus with his 9 charisma, and it showed very much that that he was good at. Yeah. But everyone got a little bit of information. After that, they all kind of reconvened at the tavern, where they kind of exchanged information and then decided that they were going to investigate the spooky manor. It's so spooky. And the spooky manor was definitely a little weird. They met a strange satyr inside who tried to pull tricks and definitely tried to obscure all the things that were happening. But they kind of deftly dealt with this man, Zerius Frizzleruff, and they found out that this manor was the secret temple to the Fey god Man-Nuit, who's the god of nightmares and dreams and illusions and trickery and stuff. There, after entering a negotiation, effectively Zerius kind of trying to pawn off the deal of fixing this nightmare problem for him because he definitely didn't want to. He gave the heroes a tea that he said would help them if they wanted to enter the dreams in a little bit more of a lucid state, and he also gave the party a like a holy symbol of Man-Nuit that was a dream catcher that seems to kind of let you manipulate, or at least give you a counter to whatever these dream creatures are and these dark dreams that are happening. After that, everyone kind of finished their night, took a nice long rest, but unfortunately, everyone had a terrible dream that night. There, they awoke in the inn just like they thought they went to sleep, and they encountered a strange sight, though to everyone except for Heath. They realized that they thought it was a perfectly place they went to sleep, and where that place was, it was it was Keg's kitchen, where they kind of met characters from all through their past, all through their present, and even some they've never met before, especially some of the newer people in the group. There they met Disbin's family, they met Norm again, and then eventually a large half-giant named Pecorin came in there, but he was infused with dark giant powers. This is, of course, Kellen's brother, and came to wreck up and take over the bar. With some very calm and efficiently exchanged words between Otisesh and Pecorin, a fight ensued. The fight started taking turns for the worse as these half-giants and orcs and raiders came in to fight, but the heroes eventually prevailed, defeating the creatures. But also, during this fight, Heath began to feel the ability that through the Dreamcatcher could kind of manipulate the dream, though he didn't push it to, he thinks, the fullest he could have done. And at this point, after defeating the threat, and some people almost dying, you all awoke with a bit of a rough night. I believe 2 of you have a point of exhaustion. I think it's Kellen and Otisesh might have a level of exhaustion. I don't know. Did I write it down?
I do.
Okay.
That sounds familiar.
I didn't, but I'm fine with it.
No, you're fine. I think you got really good on your wisdom save. So I think it might just be Kellen then. Oh, I can hear your TV, Norm. Let's see. Did I make a note? I wish I made a note. I don't know. Oh, no, I did make a note. Otisesh, no, you also have a point of exhaustion.
Okay.
I have the number. So you two wake up from that dream a little more harrowed. You do refresh all your spell slots and everything, but you two don't feel like you got a full rest in the matter. But you have awoken in the cells in the Sworn fucking tavern. The Warren Sworn Inn, where it was a rough night, but that's where we are today. Sam, I already introduced you and described your character, so
Excellent.
I figured you would be here in a little bit. But so I gave a giant recap because it's been a month, and we are right back into it. So you guys awaken, and it's a bit groggy. I think we ended the session with you guys all waking up and kind of being like, you all had the same dream, I had the same dream, and then we kind of cut it. So that's where we are now.
I am going to find that man and kill him before he can become a problem.
I'm sorry, Otis. I interrupted. What was that?
I am going to find that man and kill him before he becomes a problem.
Pecorin? No, Pecorin's good. That guy sucked.
I agree.
I agree that guy sucked.
That's just for the record, and I don't want to speak for you, Kellen, but Pecorin's like a really nice guy. I don't know who that was, but that's not the Pecorin I know.
It's not Pecorin.
Well, whoever is responsible for that nightmare, we should root them out.
And for a moment, Otisesh and Heath, your vision goes back to the orrery shattering, where you saw the 3 decrepit women over the cauldron that looked at you. And then
There was but behind the curtain of dreams, I spied a golden skinned woman, puppet strings attached to her fingertips, moving the dream along. I think that's who we need to find.
I'm still lost at Curtain of Dreams.
So we were all in the same place, right?
Yeah.
So with the dream catcher, I was able to pierce the veil just a bit and see the woman behind the curtain. She was manipulating from a distance, but the string she was pulling led back to her and could be followed.
everyone make me an insight check. Except for Heath. You're fine.
I think all my
20.
exhaustion. Do I do everything with disability with a disadvantage?
You make all skill checks with disadvantage.
Ugh.
That's a 22, Gene.
Disbin, you remember, like, there were certain points in that fight where, like, that, Peckern was exhausted, or you remember a time when Odysseus, like, used a spell that, like, held him in place, and then, like, there was a weird blur, and, like, maybe the scene went forward a little bit, and, like, Peckern was moving, or he attacked someone in a quick, like, jaunt, and, like the storyline of that dream like was disjointed, and it's like, and when he kind of mentions like there was something pulling strings, it kind of felt like a jerk in it.
Got it. Well, how do we go after this dream weaver person?
That is an excellent question. We have suspicions that they're hiding in the barrow, correct?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's our next place to go, but if this person can affect our dreams, I mean, even if we find them in the barrow, would that be the end of it, or would they still be able to infiltrate the dream space?
I believe we want to erode her foundations, tear away what she's built herself upon. So perhaps another round of investigation today, and dreaming tonight, and I can try to be more vigilant about lifting the veil from y'all as well when we're asleep. See if we can take this to her instead of just playing through the dream.
I mean, we have to think that now we're kind of in the crosshair, right? Like before we were just asking questions and poking around. Now she knows us. She can target us. So is it worth investigating around, or is it worth going to the barrow and then attacking her in dream? I'm not sure the best approach here.
You all have been working all these angles longer. The big fights and the little. Trust your instincts more than my own. That's just what came to me.
I like going right after the problem because I'm pretty darn tired, and if this is going to happen consistently, I'm not really going to be at peak ability.
Well, I will say this: if we're gonna battle this woman creature, whatever it is, in dream, I think we have to make sure we're in a place that our bodies are safe. Again, like I said, she knows us. If she can get to us in our dreams, we should realize that she could probably come after us physically. Maybe not herself, but maybe her minions or her followers or something. I
This
do have
tavern is certainly compromised.
I agree. I agree, Odasesh. I'm trying to think of a safe place. Do we trust the people at the church? That Bertha lady was nice, if not a little weird.
I I would trust. I think in the end, I think I would trust either church.
Well, I suppose that's the question then. Barrow first, and maybe try to destroy or weaken her physical location or body, and then attack the dream self, or dream self then physical.
He has already shown the ability to outmatch us in dreams.
Odasesh, as you're like beginning to like talk, you hear a voice familiar in your mind. I experienced that too. That creature wielded my fangs as his weapons. As you remember, he had like the dragon claw gauntlets, Pickering.
Mm-hmm.
And you have never interacted with your spirit, having dreams or experiencing yours.
Hmm. Something more than dreams. Very peculiar.
Otis is just mumbling this, like, what is probably nonsense to everyone out loud.
Yeah. I mean,
I
for
still
all we
think
know. Oh, go ahead.
I still think we go for their physical form.
Can I
Yeah,
ask? Sorry.
no, I like the idea of the barrow, not just because I want to weaken their physical form, but there are people who are missing, and if this creature or woman is responsible, I have to think that she's keeping them somewhere that people don't go, like the barrow.
Uh, I agree with that chain of thought. That is probably where folks have disappeared off to.
All right.
Is that bad? Are we off to go delving?
Yes.
I think let's get a meal in us, and maybe Kellen, you can get a big jug of coffee to go.
That would be
And
helpful.
yeah, I say we check out these barrows.
All right. So, with a hearty breakfast and maybe a few extra coffee shots for Kellen and Otisesh, you begin your morning. Uh, Assumedly, I imagine are you guys just going to take the most direct path to the barrows?
Yeah.
Sweet. Let me go to a different thingy. All right. So, as you leave from number 20 on the map, you make your way out of town. It's a bit of a walk, but it's nothing that you guys can't handle. So you kind of trace your way. Are you going to go through the main graveyard just to walk through the graveyard you were like 2 nights ago or something? As you guys kind of weave your way through the path, walking through the hustle and bustle of town. Again, as you guys are now a little bit more tired, and some of you see, Heath, all of you are starting to see, like, people just look a little down. Like, some people look a little more sluggish than others. It's just like this general malaise, Heath, that you experience a little bit more than the others because you've been here a little longer. Just kind of like a tiredness to the town. You kind of keep scuttling your way forward, and you pass by the Oath Keeper's Hall, which is where Dizzy visited, number 22. And you head through the gates toward the outside. People look at you, but you are not like marked or anything like you were when you first came into town. And you kind of start making your way up the path. It's a well-worn path. And everyone give me a perception check first. And this can be smell for Reggie, but for everyone else, it's kind of sight based.
Dean, for exhaustion, are we at disadvantage on every single roll across the board for everything?
All ability checks.
Okay.
Mine did not come across. I got a 23. I'm going to go poke beyond 20.
That's fine. I also
Reg got a 22.
Okay. So, honestly, Heath, with the sharpest kind of sight, being the most aware and getting the best night's sleep, you begin to notice that there are, like, tracks on the ground, but they're, like, weird. They don't flow well. Like, they don't... It's like a lot of dragging and shifting of dirt. And then Reggie picks up that it smells like people were here recently, but not like a sweat of like fear or violence. Just a smell of people have passed by here recently.
Okay.
So that's what you guys kind of start noticing as you're moving up this trail.
All right. As we are, do we see the barrow in the distance, kind of thing? Gene?
Yeah, you see these like old, crumbled, like kind of not crumbled, but like old, almost like a gatehouse that's like built in, kind of like almost like the stone doors of like Moria, like an old dwarf kind of entrance to a mountain and a burrow.
All right. As we get this close, I'm gonna hold everyone up, kind of put a hand up and go, all right, if we're gonna get into danger, let's go in prepared. And Dizzy will close his eyes, and I'm gonna cast a spell. How many people? 3 creatures. I am going to choose myself. And I'm going to choose Heath and Otisesh. You know what? No, I'm not. Yeah, no, I have to choose myself. I'm going to choose myself, Heath, and Otisesh. I will cast Aid on us. You have +5 maximum hit points.
Yep, you feel kind of almost like someone's watching your back, but in a good way. And you all feel some of you feel a little bit stronger. I imagine you keep moving up the path toward the entrance of the burrows.
Yeah, I think so.
All right, so you kind of get to the entrance. You see a large door. It has cracks. It's definitely very well made, definitely very well crafted, definitely of a dwarven make of old times. Sam, you can give me a history check, but you will be at regular because you would have advantage for being an archaeologist, but disadvantage because you're tired. So just a straight up history check.
8.
You recognize that it is definitely dwarven work. You've encountered a few of the dwarven tunnels and some of their strongholds. but this is so far from Cosralia and the Wormspine Mountains that it's you kind of can't place the aging or the time of it, but it looking at it from what you can judge, it looks like the doors would likely work, but they are closed. And then if you guys and I'll say Heath, because you've been walking, you notice that there's a little bit more, again, that trail kind of keeps moving toward the doors.
It certainly looks like we're on the right. The barrows, as far as I recall, the barrows are not particularly in use anymore, and there's traffic coming in and out.
There is no traffic coming out. There's only traffic going towards.
And there's traffic going in, and
Yes.
notably, no traffic coming out.
Correct. I'll say if you guys want to look around the area, you could give me either a survival or an investigation.
And Gene, just double checking, there's like definitively nobody coming out, so there's no sign of like somebody
Yeah, on your way up this trail, the
coming
way-
out to a victim and dragging them back in. There's just only traffic going.
you did not see any footprints coming towards you on your entire walk up here. So everyone can either make me a survival or an investigation as you kind of are scouting around for tracks and other information.
Made 11 investigation.
Okay,
I rolled the wrong thing, but it doesn't matter. Because it was bad anyway.
perfect.
I got a 15 survival.
Okay,
I got a 19.
awesome. All right, so with the 15, Disbin, you and Reggie are kind of like poking around and sniffing around, and what you notice is that around some of the footprints and the drag marks, you're a tracker. Reggie knows how to hunt. You understand, following and learning things. You're like, it's like the footprints are shuffling, like they're they're dragging their feet. Occasionally, maybe you see like something cover up a print, like maybe a long dress or a gown, in a footprint over here. No one's wearing any hard shoes. It's all soft footprints. So that's what you notice. Heath, you're kind of looking around the area. You're pretty familiar with, cathedrals and older type buildings kind of coming from, the holy city, and they're all kind of their own bastions in their own way. This door would take incredible and immense strength to open. It would be loud, and you definitely see by the door the telltale marks of it being like the dirt is disturbed where it's open. There's some dust, where the seams would have brushed, and definitely pretty recent.
So it's opening out towards us?
Correct. It opens outward. So you're thinking they could like bar the door from the...
That's what I was thinking. Is that like that's set up so that you can bar something in, not you bar something out?
Correct.
Yeah. This is a bit curious. Dizzy, in your investigations with the tracks, are there large groups coming through, or is it individuals?
I would say the most recent tracks that you can tell seems like singular to maybe at most 2 or 3, but it's hard to tell because it's a shuffling shamble where people are kicking it. You can tell that some of these tracks have been brushed over by other people's feet, kind of not quite lifting up, or like a zombie dragging their feet or something.
It doesn't seem like... Sorry, I should give you a chance to actually answer the question I asked you, Dizzy.
It's quite all right. I think that there is multiple sets of footprints. Some are in small groups, but I have a theory that this is sleepwalking, right?
I agree. That's where I was at.
At this
Yeah,
time,
what did you see?
Reggie begins barking and runs off to the side of the like a little bit of the barrows. You keep talking, and he kind of runs off, and you hear in your mind like, "I smell something. Be back."
Okay, I watch, but I'm paying attention to the group.
Heath looks like he's at this point like poised to go run after Reggie and is just watching Dizzy for clues, and Dizzy's not running, so he's like, all right.
No, no, we're good.
So I don't think one person or two people should be able to open these doors. These doors are old and heavy, even if they have counterweights. We as a group might struggle to open these. So the local waitress or barrister or what have you is going to struggle on them. It's worrying that they've just swung open, and he'll like point out some of the spots where the dust has been swept away. They've just like swung open as these folks either approach or they pull them open or something from inside has granted them.
At this point,
Almost like they were invited.
Reggie begins kind of scuttling back. He has something brown, roughly probably the size of like a head, in his mouth. And as he approaches,
What do you got, boy?
Is it a head?
no, it's a brown stuffed bear, missing an button eye, and he kind of like brings it up to you. It's just like a dirt cover, like it's definitely been in the weather, and like one of the arms is kind of ripped a little bit, but it's a little stuffed bear, like a child's like sleeping stuffy.
I will mentally communicate with Reggie. Where did you find this boy?
He kind of just he gestures to where he ran off. You saw him like run off maybe like 20 or 30 feet off the path. Bush smelled similar to a path a smell I was following.
Anything else there? Just this?
No, just tossed aside, but I thought it was curious. It did not smell like blood or anything.
Reggie, if you could see if you can smell if there are any alternate entrances, if any of the smells of people enter the barrows from other directions.
Okay. He begins kind of moving back and forth. Roll me I will say perception or survival with advantage.
Okay, I think it's going to be perception for my doggo. That will be a dirty 20.
Okay. After, you guys can still talk it's going to take him a little while. You think he kind of like begins walking up and around certain areas, sniffing, doing a dog thing. But yeah, you guys can kind of keep talking while this happens, and I'll let you know when he comes back.
Yeah, I'll let everyone know. Reggie's going to see if there's an alternate way in. I mean, these doors, like you said, they're big, and I'm guessing whoever is in charge down there opens them during certain times and keeps them locked up tight during other times.
Or they open them during rituals where these people are called forth.
I mean, I'll say this. I could try to muscle. I mean, I'm pretty strong. I could try to muscle one of these doors open.
Gene, the history roll I already made, it would be the same roll that I might make to try to figure out if there's another way in.
I would say you could make me an investigation check now that you're. I think that history roll was more just you kind of assessing at first glance the ruins. So if you want to either make another history check, but I think or a perception check if you're kind of looking around to try to, trace out where some of this architecture might go. I'd allow it. Yeah, that sounds fine.
Both at disadvantage?
I'll say if you do history, I will give you regular because you are an archaeologist. It's kind of your thing to break into tombs.
14. It's also kind of my thing to roll very low tonight.
That is true. That is also kind of your thing.
I'll give you a flash of genius for +5.
This is my best roll of the night. With the +5, it goes to 19.
Okay. So you kind of like you look at the doors, you kind of look at the hillside, and you kind of just like gesturing from like what you think of like what you know the mountain holds. Looking around here, you believe there's probably another entrance, but it might be miles away. Like, you know that generally when the dwarves at least made a small like underground burrow, it generally kept going through the natural cave works to another place and then an exit over there. Like, they're definitely not going to be trapped in here, but it would be a hard time to figure out another entrance unless they had one built.
Yeah, there's no other like obvious indication from like the hillside and the architecture that's like, oh, over there. Okay.
No, this definitely looks like this is a defendable point that if they're going to have attackers or people trying to come through, they can funnel you in a gate. And then you'll deal with whatever dwarven traps are behind that. And about this time, Reggie kind of comes back, and you get feelings. I only smell people over here. And he kind of gestures to the path. Just wildlife. But some nature's more dead in the area. And you guys kind of looking around notice that, like, the bushes are a little bit drier. They're a little bit more, wilted.
I of course give Reggie a treat. Heath, are you strong? I don't want to be rude.
Very strong.
I don't miss my exercises, my calisthenics. I mean, give this a go.
Yeah. All right. Come on. And Gene, I'll approach the door and see if there is a handle, something I can grab onto.
So it's like, yeah, you kind of look around and you start kind of,
all right.
Yeah. You look.
Otis is going to walk over even though he was not invited nor encouraged.
Yeah. Everyone, make me an investigation check. Who's by the door?
I'll help someone else. I'll help Kellen.
All right, so Kellen, you can do it at regular.
Okay, the firm. Yeah, which one I rolled first? I rolled the 13.
So what's your total?
13 total.
All right, who else?
I can also help him because there's no point in me rolling 2 dice. It's not going to be a 13.
All right. Well, someone take a help action. Whoever. Did you roll already?
I'll be me.
I got a nat 20 for 21.
All right. Well, so you guys all kind of like start looking around, and Heath, not only do you notice that you see like the dwarves have like there's definitely iconography that you notice like maybe in some of like the helmet sculptures there's like underpulls, but you begin to start seeing small chiseled patterns of the symbols of Tenebris. Some of those secret marks chiseled here and there, looking new. And it seems like it makes some sort of spell pattern.
I want to like put up a hand to slow people down, and I'm going to detect magic.
Okay. Your eyes kind of...
There's... Something's caught my eye. Give me a moment.
Your eyes flash, for a moment, kind of going dark, that dark, absolute black, and then kind of return to normal. And you begin to see this intricate, like the lightest chiseling, like someone had to have had the most delicate hand. But now all of these runes line up and surround the door. You get a few different types of magic. There is definitely abjuration. There is evocation. There's illusion. There's I don't know what. Let me look at some spells. I think conjuration.
Any staycation?
Nah. But no necromancy. Yeah, I think that there's a little enchantment as well. And that's kind of the. And it seems like there's multiple. And the other thing you notice is that like almost like touching the surface of the door is a like thin like force like field of magic that these runes are projecting. Yeah, transmutation. I was right. And that's it looks like I
It's right
have.
on the wall. It's got abjuration, evocation, illusion, enchantment, conjuration, and transmutation.
Yes.
Cool. All right, so uh, there's a web of runes here. I don't know. You've been chasing the enemy for a while, right? His runes are on this door. I'm not sure yet what they might mean or what they might do. They're Gene, are they across the whole door?
It looks like it's edged. Like there's some by the hinges, and then there's like a swirling pattern up front that seems to be projecting whatever this shield is. That's like just micro on the edge of like the surface that like you would touch to push open the door.
Okay. Well, one moment. He starts like rubbing his hands together and cups them like some people who are not me can like cup their hands, and when they blow into it, it like whistles out. And he blows out like a cloud of fireflies that all fly to the door and just kind of hover in front of each rune, illuminating them for his friends.
Okay. As you kind of
Any of these look familiar? And sorry, you're about to say something.
no, as you do this, you guys notice these runes, the faintest carving, and they're like tiny compared to the ones you saw. Like the ones you've been seeing are the ones that you saw like to mark notes for other cultists, like to be like, hey, this is a cool spot. These are these same alphabet, but in a patterns, arcane patterns. So now that you guys can examine them, if you'd like to make an Arcana check,
For sure.
and Heath, you can also make an Arcana check with advantage because you have the Tech Magic up.
Untrained or no, Gene?
I will let you do it, untrained. Yep, you know a little bit about magic.
17.
Okay.
I got a dirty 20.
Gene, I rolled a nat 20. I got a 19.
Perfect. All right. As
Beautiful.
as you begin examining these runes, Heath, you notice that this is some sort of barrier that prevents entrance unless you meet a specific condition, but you cannot tell what that is. It also seems like there is that like again it's a barrier that does a few there are definitely different spells on the door, so like you think if you don't pass it correctly, you're imagining the conjuration might be a teleportation or something, like it might get you somewhere or take you somewhere. So you kind of start examining, and you pick up that there's definitely a barrier that like if you were to touch it, something would happen if you don't meet the right conditions. And then you also pick up that the hinges, there's also a knock spell built into the door that if you can activate it correctly, will open the door. There's also a silence spell put on the door as well, so it will not be heard when it is opened. And that's kind of as you're studying these magical patterns. For Disbin, you see the truth of this door. You pierce the veil as there's an illusion covering this door, and that the runes you see are false runes built to attract people to, if they're to dispel something, they would dispel those effects that are not there. And you realize that as you kind of like pierce this veil, this door is decrepit. The door's not even there. There's just pieces of stone hanging off the wood or hanging off the frame that maybe there isn't. And there's like a strange fog, almost like ankle deep, but it ends at the doorway.
Dizzy kind of cocks his head, and he goes, these runes, this is Tenebrous' shadow creating a veil. This isn't, I don't think this door is even here. Everyone back up. And, Gene, I want to find a rock.
Yep.
And I'm gonna heave it in like where I believe there to be open space between me and the threshold.
You kind of throw it, and the rock hits the door and then disappears. But you don't hear it fall. And I would say as soon as it passes the threshold, it's like your dark vision doesn't even pierce the darkness. Like it's not so dark
Right.
that you can't like see, but like the black and what like the sunlight doesn't pierce, and the rock just kind of falls at least into the mist and then is obscured.
Beyond the door is a fog that is hard to penetrate, but I think we can pass through. Here, I believe this path is safe, and Gene, I will attempt to pass through the threshold where I believe there to be a safe path.
As you step up to where the door should be, you hit a wall of an incredible force that you don't think, a mortal man could push through. Like, you don't feel a seam. You just, like, it's where the door should be is like there's a wall that would fit where it should be.
So the rock passed through, but I'm not able to.
Correct.
Interesting.
So do we see Dizzy just walk into the wall?
Yeah, you see him walk into the door. That as you guys are kind of like squinting, and he kind of pointed it out, you begin to kind of see through the illusion, and you see this like, yeah, he's touching like a thin translucent wall where that door should be.
Gene, the earth around here, is it hard and packed? Is it loose?
I mean, it's the stone is at least packed, but like the barrow
Sure.
is built. I would say it's probably harder up in this area, a little more rocky. Like this area is not built for the tilling. That's why it's on the other side of the river.
Right. There's a magical barrier here that I can't penetrate. Gene, as I get right up to the threshold, I'm going to take a breath and this sort of warmth of hospitality, and for a moment, a golden light will flash from my eyes, and I will use divine sense.
Okay. It does not pierce the wall into the cave. It is almost like you are looking at a dead zone. You cannot see through, like while your eyes can kind of see through it, your senses cannot. Of course, you pick up a little weird sense on Otisesh, no big deal. But you do sense, because I'm gonna honor that nat 20. You sense that like as you're looking at this barrier and like you're touching it, maybe like for a moment you see like a shimmer of like a purple or yellow, and as you kind of look back, as like both Otisesh and Kellen's eyes droop for a second, their reflections come up with that like haze of a yellow purple as they kind of just like shake off that tiredness.
The barrier only allows sleeping people to pass. Huh. I think. Right? If they're sleepwalkers, they walk up to this point, they go up to the barrier, it appears the door's open, but really it's just the barrier gets lowered.
Dude,
Or
what are you
maybe they're
talking
looking-
about? Listen to yourself.
I'm just trying to figure it out. I just don't know how. If I mean, I've
You
never
just started
sleepwalked.
talking about sleepwalking people through a door. You were just standing there staring at the door, and then you started ranting about sleepwalking people walking through. What's going on?
There's a magical barrier here, Otisesh. I know it looks like the door, and I'll tap tap tap. I know it looks like the door, but there's something more here. I can see beyond this door, the barrier. Once you can pierce the illusion, there's more here. I can't pass through it. How do you be awake and asleep at the same time?
Otis walks up and puts his hand on the door.
Otis, your hand moves like 5 inches past the door, but hits a solid wall. Like you see your wrist cut off,
Yeah.
but you feel that you're touching something solid beyond
I'm
that.
gonna like feel around to just get like a full
Yeah.
like
And
picture of what's going on.
As
here.
you kind of do that, your eyes blend for a little bit, and you pierce the illusion. The door kind of fades off in like your like afterthought and like your side vision, but you see through it, and you see this like 1.5 foot layer of fog past where this door should be into like a dark cave, but your hands are against some sort of invisible wall.
Heath, that tea that you got from the Satyr Fuzzy Butt, could we brew a pot of that? And maybe that would allow us to be in both sleeping and waking worlds?
Let me find my steeping instructions and see what I can tell you.
I will tell you this instructions you're looking for. He told you to drink it before you go to bed, and it will give you like more power over the dream, or it'll make you a beacon, but you will be in a little bit more control. Unsure of what that all means, but effectively he said like it'll attract them, but at least you'll know it's happening,
No, I don't believe it will serve that purpose, but I do think, now that I've been ruminating on it, that we probably should have drank this before we went to sleep last night.
Well,
This may have been the key to ripping her strings from her fingertips during that encounter.
I mean, I think two things. One, either we find an alternate way in, or we maybe have to, dream battle or something.
And I'm gonna imagine, since you're sitting here kind of experimenting, like Dizzy, well, like Otisesh has gone about 5 inches past where you have. When you go to touch it, you stop at the door.
Ellen will shuffle on over, half stupor, and try the same thing.
He goes to the same distance Otisesh does.
So we need to be totally sleepy to go in.
Otis sits down and leans through the door into the wall, and
So
then he
you're-
just shuts his eyes and starts going to sleep.
He begins to try to go to sleep.
Yes, he begins to try to go to sleep.
Well, while he's trying to get his power nap on, he's, again, working on a theory. He's going to try and put his hand on the door, or through the door.
It stops where Dizzy stops.
I think. Well, I guess, Dizzy, are you thinking what I'm thinking?
Dabbing
Yes,
down
so-
in front of the barrow?
They're so drained from our encounter last night that they're still partially in the sleeping wave. So them being so exhausted has giving them a bit of access. Perhaps if we all were a bit more drained, that would get us through. What about Reggie? How does Reggie feel about all this?
I don't know, actually. Hey, Reg,
Huh?
can you walk forward, buddy? And I'll kind of gesture towards the door. Can you
Yeah.
walk through that?
He hits to the same spot that Otisesh and Kellen hit. Brr. And he just kind of huffs.
I mean, are any of you herbalists? Is there a herbal remedy that causes sleepiness? Is there a poison that makes you, well, I mean beer, but I don't know if we want to get hammered and then
Otisesh, make me a Constitution save, but because you did drink a big thing of coffee, you're going to do it at advantage. You want to fail this.
Oh, now I roll well.
Mhm.
23.
It's everyone's talking around you. You're just trying to get some shut eye. It's hard to fall asleep. You're also in your full armor. It's not comfortable.
Yeah.
It is hard. You are not falling asleep. It is rough.
I'm committed.
You're just like. Mm.
It's probably extra uncomfortable because he's like trying to lean into it in a way that if he falls asleep and he passes and it like becomes less corporeal, he'll fall through. Which is like probably not the most comfortable position to sleep in.
Yep, sure isn't.
Yeah, but he's committed.
Perfect.
I think I'm going to take Reggie on a little bit of walkabout. Maybe there's a place we could dig, or I don't know, some earth that we could move around. Yeah, I don't know. I'm thinking maybe we have to do a sleep, not sleep thing, but let me just do a once around.
Okay.
Come on, buddy.
All right. You start taking your walkabout. What are you trying to achieve through this?
So, Gene, I'm looking for maybe places where animals have burrowed, maybe places where there's been some natural erosion. I'm trying to not look for like quote unquote weak points, but like areas where earth naturally fell away.
Sure.
That might indicate with a little bit of elbow grease and shovels,
Yeah.
we could dig our way in.
Okay. Make me a perception check, and you can have advantage because Reggie will help you. During this time, Heath, because you still have detect magic up, and now that you've kind of pierced the illusion, those effects are still there. Like that's definitely like part of it. But now that you realize the illusion is what made the door look like it was still there and not blocking it, you're studying it. You're watching Otisesh try to sleep on it, and you're kind of looking past, and like maybe for a second, like the mist or the fog in the ground moves, and you see shuffling steps, like people heading further, like the footsteps of someone like dragging. Maybe you see a ribbon caught on the side of a wall or something of like, a nightgown or something tore. Yeah, you're looking at this barrier. This barrier is probably some of the most intricate magic you've ever seen. Like make a religion check. You know what? Yeah, make a religion check. That feels right.
While I'm doing that, when you said that I see shuffling steps, I see evidence of that having happened in the past.
Sorry. Yeah,
Okay.
You don't see people. Yes, but as you're studying the area.
All right, well, I had to roll bad at some point. 13.
Okay. You maybe haven't gotten to witness it, but that priests, gathering in convocation can kind of work together as like a group prayer and do some incredible acts of faith and magic. And looking at this barrier feels like some sort of multi-personed ritual created it. That you do not think like a mundane dispel magic would remove it. That, or bypass it.
Okay.
So, just kind of you like sitting there. Dizzy, what'd you get?
I got a 14.
Yeah. So you find a spot. You're like, this is it. And Reggie's like, I can dig. And you guys kind of get down, and you get about a foot down, and you hit a barrier, the same one. Like you don't see it, but you see dirt under it, and you also see
Yeah.
that it has severed some roots, and which is why you notice that some of this vegetation looks like it's dying.
Damn. I thought we found it, Reg.
Brr.
All right, let's go back.
All right.
And I will trundle my way back.
So you guys, you're sitting there, no activity. No one has come from the other side. You guys are all alone up here, doing your experiments.
I've got a thought on how I could get some of us asleep, but I can't handle it for all of us. So we would have to dispatch us.
What's your idea, Heath?
I mean, I can command folks to do simple things. To me, sleep feels like a simple command, especially to two of our tired friends.
I mean, there is a thought where, can you cast it on yourself? Because my thought is, again, I know it's going to take some spell power on your part, but Reggie could roll us through the barrier. He couldn't pass through himself, but he could certainly push us.
Sure, but even if we're leaning against the door and fall asleep, we'd fall through and
Oh,
probably
we could fall forward.
I will point, you don't know how thick the barrier is. It's invisible.
I do have another thought. Our satyr friend, he gave us the tea and the dream catcher. I bet if anyone could force us to sleepwalk for hopefully a short distance, it's probably him.
Gene, I'm gonna go with the question that I asked, that I was gonna ask a while ago, and I got a combination of distracted and people were enthusiastic. Do I remember Zarius telling us that like the highly recommended order of operations was take care of this thing in our dreams and then go into the barrow?
I'm pretty sure he alluded to that. Where that, like, taking out their dream power might weaken them in the physical world. But I don't remember exactly. But I think you are insightful enough, kind of studying the barrier and the magic, and like seeing your sleepy friends that like, if you guys gain more levels of exhaustion to try to pass it, it would be very detrimental to you physically.
Yeah. I do have other things that I've got. I've got a note saying that once we have broken or defeated the threat in our dreams, we will be able to deal with it physically.
That might have been.
I might have just typed it, but like that sounds pretty heavy there. Like,
yeah, no, I think that also could have been from the divination. I don't remember. You got it from something. Yes,
that's in my various notes. I've got headings and stuff.
Then I don't remember exactly where you got it from, but that is definitely an insinuation that was made either via your scry and questioning, or maybe Zarius himself.
All right, cool.
Now, what you're saying is we have to go do this, dream again, and then even be more exhausted, potentially.
Indeed. I believe we were on the right track and we got discouraged. We should have taken a bit more time to prepare. Put on our armor and belted our sword, so to speak.
But I'm going to say this: as you guys have been talking, you guys kind of solved it more or less. In the idea of like, people are getting so tired to the point where they sleepwalk. People don't see them leaving at that time, and so people just walk out of their houses. No violence, no threat. A kid wandering, maybe took and now that you guys have felt the effect of falling asleep and taking a level of exhaustion, you're imagined that maybe those of weaker will would also be getting more tired quicker.
Tracks. Someone mentioned not feeling safe in the inn anymore. Both of the churches have been welcoming, a bit surprisingly so for the Church of the Three. I do say so. Does one of those sound like a place we might batten down for a bit?
Yes.
If we're going to try this again?
Hmm.
We
Otis
should.
gets up off of this like weird sleepy pile. Is there any is there just like natural stuff nearby? There's no like roads or fencing or
Not on this side. Yeah, you just see that large like tower, kind of like built into a stone entrance, built into the mound or hill. I don't know what the fuck it is. Yeah, no, I mean, you guys see the town's edge, a little bit, maybe less than a quarter of a mile away from you.
Should we bar this entrance before we leave in some fashion? So that innocent people do not sleepwalk through it.
Yeah, we could probably move some like boulders and stuff. And maybe pile up some logs.
Yeah.
Make a natural barrier.
Sweet. All right. Well, then, how about this? Everyone, give me a skill check and tell me what skill you're going to use and how you do it to help. We'll do this as a group skill check, and we'll see, what skills you are going to add to the table. I will say, if you burn a spell slot of first level, that'll give you +5. If you burn a spell slot of second level, that'll give you +10.
Do a +5.
Okay, but you still have to tell me what check you're doing and why your spell helps.
We'll do investigation, look in the air to see what we could possibly use to create as obstruction.
Okay, and what give me a spell that you're flavoring that you're going to be helping and using with this.
Let me see.
Like you want to catapult a heavy rock, like things like that.
Let's see. Maybe using thunder wave to kind of break something open that we could use.
Oh hell yeah! Oh yeah. All right, yeah. Roll me an investigation. You unfortunately have disadvantage, but you will be getting +5.
Let me roll that. So, my lowest one was a 16, so it makes it a 21.
Okay, great. So Kellen begins you guys start piling stuff up, and Kellen begins trying to jam it in. What else is other people doing?
I think I'm going to me and Reggie are going to do what Reggie does best, and we're going to find some large sticks, and we're going to make a quasi natural barrier, nothing that will last kind of the test of time, but something that a sleepy person won't just walk through.
I mean, that seems pretty good. What skill are you going to use?
I'm going to use survival.
Okay.
And I got a 16.
Reggie can help you for advantage if you did not try that already.
Ooh. Let's see if that gets better.
Yeah,
then.
He's not going to make his own action. He's just going to help.
Nope, 16 is the number.
Great. I mean, fucking, you're the swollest goblin, and you just move big logs and cross the path that you built it to your head level. You're like, all right, we're good. All right, what else are we doing?
Am I disadvantaged for this?
It is a skill check, so yes, you will be at disadvantage.
Bummer.
But you could burn a first level slot for +5 or a second level slot for a +10.
Yeah.
Which may affect things that happen later tonight, but that's not important. What is important is I've given you options.
I think I'm just going to try to use survival. Are there trees nearby?
Yeah.
I'm going to try to just tear down and or chop down, depending on the size of the tree, some trees and create some.
And they kind of don't have roots anymore.
I'm going to say this. I think that's more of an athletics check if you're going to be ripping trees down.
Okay,
Yeah,
I'm fine with that.
you're fucking swole. You got your gauntlets of swole.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, make me an athletics. You will be at disadvantage.
All right. 17.
Amazing. And let's cap it off. Heath, what do we got?
So Heath is actually going to spend his time just trying to Discord is weird. He's going to spend his time just trying to be helpful and encouraging for the rest of the group.
Okay.
One of the ways that he's doing that, and I'm going to regret this later. I'm going to use a 3rd level spell slot and cast Heroism on the other 3 PCs. Just to keep the morale way up.
We're all gonna regret that later.
You can spend it as a 2nd level slot for the roleplay purpose.
All right.
Because the maximum bonus I'm giving you is a +10. So
I know, but I would have cast it on 3 people, so I'll just spend the 3rd level slot anyway.
I will have you just do a 2nd level.
All right, cool. Deal.
Roll me, I guess. I don't know. What are you trying to do? Persuasion?
Persuasion?
Yeah. Roll a persuasion with +10.
Great.
Natural
37.
Oh, 37. Nice. I mean, honestly, you were trained for this, man. You're built to fucking, rally the parish to help put up buildings and churches around once you were going to actually go on your holy duty and, set up parishes. And, you just get into the cadence and your training kicks in. And you guys all work a lot more efficiently. And honestly, like Otisesh, while it's not as harsh as you would like your person telling you what to do coming your way, it feels right because there's an order. It makes sense. Like, this is how it works. Kellen, it kind of reminds you of working with your dad and him guiding you through, like, oh, you got to build this, but he kind of let you do your own experiments. And, Disbin, you've always listened to, like, Keg and Hank, and they, kind of tried to guide you through cooking or thing. And this is just like, it feels good. You've all been part of a community, and it feels like a community leader is kind of pushing you your way. And you guys, you make a barrier, and it's not just like a barrier that a sleepy person gets through. Like, with the amount of stuff that you would think that this probably took you an hour. Like, one person probably couldn't do this on their own unless they were immensely strong, like Otisesh or Disbin, and it would take them, like, by themselves a few hours to get through, maybe. So it would take a concerted effort to get through this blocked passage. But you think you've at least blocked the entrance that no one will be wandering in, and if something wants to come out, it will have to use an amount of force. So you will definitely be able to tell if you check tomorrow whether or not something has tried to escape or broken through.
All right. Let's get sleepy.
I'm already there.
All right.
I think we're going to head towards the Church of the Three.
Hell yeah. All right. Guys are a little sweaty, a little more tired. Some of you more tired than others. But you guys head over to the Temple of the Three. You see a familiar woman, because it's kind of the next day, and it's like afternoonish at this point for you guys. So it's probably when she probably got up. You see a young human woman with the salt and pepper hair, brown eyes. She has like a silky pink skin, but it's like pockmarked with like small blemishes. She's about 5'6" and athletic, and with a round and sightly face. But she is crooked over from the severe like curve that when you met her before. But she kind of sees you all coming. You're all a little more caked in dirt, and she goes, "Oh, what'd you find? I imagine you went to the Barrows looking at the way you do."
We did go to the Barrows, Miss Bertha, right? Jean Bertha, right?
Yep, Bertha Chaucer. Yep.
Miss Bertha, we did go to the Barrows. we weren't able to get inside, and that's kind of the reason that we're here. We're hoping that you can. We're hoping that maybe you can watch over us as we slumber. I know this is a strange ask, but I think it's the only way to do what we need to do.
When you say like you went to the barrows, you see a moment like a lightness, and then when you say like kind of like the but, you watch her mood immediately drop. Um, she looks at you curiously. I don't understand.
We think what's happening to people. I think people are being influenced in their sleep and in their dreams, and I believe that we have the tools to combat whatever is happening to them. And the source of it, we believe, and pretty much now is confirmed, is in the barrows. And the only way to pass into the barrows is to be asleep. So we're hoping that we can maybe approach from the side of dream, and then once, if we're successful, then approach in the physical space.
She nods. You sound like you believe what you're saying, but it's still a little strange. She looks to you, Heath, as you wear a prominent holy symbol. Like, brother, what is your opinion of the situation?
Um, I'm curious. First of all, what's causing you a doubt? You had talked to us a day or two ago about going to the barrows to investigate. We've started that investigation, and we have found a couple of suspicious things. It seemed, at least when we first spoke, like you expected us to find suspicious things there.
Sorry, I had a terrible night's sleep last night. Bad dreams. I'm a little out of sorts. I just the things that were said just felt unbelievable. I thought there were just things coming up from the barrows. I did not. You not being able to enter seems strange. It took me off guard.
When's the last time any of the clergy of the three been inside the barrow?
We our duties keep us here. We've been trying to hire adventurers, but no one would heed the call.
Do
And
you
you can see bags under her eyes now that you have like a closer look to her.
do you have any desire to enforce a zone of truth or anything along those
No,
lines?
no,
So
no,
that
no. Sorry, sorry. Here, come with me. Come with me. As she kind of like takes you inside the actual, I think, building 23, which is the Temple of the Three. She takes you inside, and it's it's like there's definitely like a side nice chapel that's also for like where you would have funeral rites and like you know viewings. But there was like a side cloister for like where the clergy stay. There are two sets of stairs that seem to head to a basement made of stone. She takes you into the side room. Can I get you food, drink? I'm more just. What are you asking of me?
our our previous resting spot is a place where we had been seen by whatever's down. We were hoping to be able to pull up a couple of pallets in the temple.
I mean,
We don't expect anything to physically come after us, but we would prefer a safe place to find some rest.
okay. I mean, I could try to summon some protections, but I don't have warriors. You can stay here. We don't really have beds besides the other clergy. Um,
I can't speak for the others, but if I have a blanket and a bedroll, which I should be.
I mean, if that is what you wish, we don't have any viewings today, so I guess you could stay in the main chapel. You could sleep on a pew if you find that comfortable.
Probably
I
more
mean,
comfortable than marble granite.
I was, yeah, that's why I didn't offer the empty caskets downstairs. Those would be very comfortable, probably too. They're a lot more padded. But I don't think you want to sleep in a casket. That's weird.
I don't think I'm there yet. Just just saying.
It is important that, as you do not have guards, that we are out of the way. Harder to find is advantageous.
I mean, the basement might be the better place then. I mean,
If you're okay with it, yeah, that would work.
sure, sure. Here, follow me. So she kind of takes you downstairs, and there's a full like crematorium on one side. You see that there's also there's a bunch of different caskets. Like some are being built, like they clearly like do a little bit of trade in making coffins. You see some very luxurious caskets set along certain parts that are very well cushioned, and there's just like a storage room that's pretty big. It's a dry. They definitely have like some alchemical agents in here to keep this room dry and not moldy. Uh, and you're in a room full of empty caskets with various cushions. No bodies, none of that, but just the area where they would like have someone maybe choose a casket for their family. All of different sizes and varying shapes. She goes, you could stay down here if you wish.
So tired I could sleep in one of those. It looked very comfortable.
Kellen, for you, these are pretty large. You could probably luxuriate inside a full-size casket. You are a gnome. Even Disbin probably could also.
I could just move
Yes.
in.
I assume these are probably not big enough for Otis because he probably doesn't fully
No.
understand what this is for. He's like picking up on context clues, but this is not like
Yeah. No, there's caskets of all shapes and sizes. So there's one that would definitely fit you. It may not be the most. It doesn't look like the most padded because they probably had room for someone who was very large. But you're like, well, I could probably fit in that.
good enough for me.
All right. So, is there anything I can get you? Because I can lock the door. I can put up a guardian spirit to protect you in case anything physical enters. That's the most of my services. I can at least check on you while I'm not doing my duties.
That would be wonderful. That's great. Reggie will stay with you. Reggie is a capable warrior, and he can hopefully wake us up if we need to be woken up. Maybe he can talk to me. Well, I don't know.
That's
So
what-
I'll remind you, Reggie was in your dream, and he did experience everything that you did when you
Interesting.
slept. That's why he has that level of exhaustion. So
Hey, Sparkles,
right.
are you here? Maybe Sparkles can keep an eye on this.
a puff of glitter appears. Oh wait, you didn't even notice. Hey, boss. Yeah, you were tossing and turning all night.
I guess you've probably been listening to what's going on. We're going to try to do this again. Could you kind of keep an eye over on us to make sure we're okay?
Yeah, of course I can. I was here the whole time. Definitely didn't wander off while you guys were digging a hole.
Excellent.
All right. Well, listen, Reggie's in charge, so
Sure,
Team
not gonna
Sparkle
happen.
and
I
Reggie-
can speak common. That dog cannot.
He understands common.
Yeah, but he can't speak it. So I also got thumbs. I'm in charge. He flies right out of range of where Reggie can jump, and then turns invisible.
That checks out.
All right. So I imagine you guys eat a dinner. She kind of showed you that, like, in like the area where you could do embalming and stuff. There's like a sink, and there are enough tools that if you guys needed to like have a cold food or like clean up or make tea, if you want to make tea, she shows you the kitchen. Like they have a kitchen in the upper levels, but she's like, let me know when you are ready, and I will lock the door, and I will cast a guardian to protect anything physically entering.
Now, this tea is supposed to help us if we want to use it, right?
I believe that's the right answer tonight.
I thought the tea was just going to make us a target, and the dream catcher is what's really helping us.
But I thought the tea, like, have us realize, be more in tune with the whole dream. Kind of knowing that we're in a dream and we can control things makes it different. Makes it, like you said, I thought it was really norm there. But maybe if we have better control, we can kind of differentiate dream from reality.
Indeed, I'm in alignment with Kellen here. I think our patron in this endeavor was that this would help those without the dream catcher rouse more readily.
Okay. All right. I'm just gonna take a moment with Reggie. I'm just gonna go. All right, buddy. I think I'm gonna do this one alone. I need you to watch over us, okay?
I mean, he does want to stay and protect you. Is the images you get is like, I like, he feels like you won't be at your best if he's not there. Like he can't watch your back, he can't help others.
I this place, like the priestess said, they don't have warriors, Reg. If something comes trying to bash that door down and we're asleep, I want you to be here. I mean, listen, Reg, you're smarter than me, so do whatever you think is best. If you want to join us, I won't stop you.
So he sends you one last image, and then you can make a choice. Where he go,
Okay.
he kind of sends you the image of, like, he's already tired, like he gets like that wariness of like, and a little bit of fear, like I might fall asleep, like. So he would rather go with you because he might be able to help there, instead of like letting you down by falling asleep in the physical world, and then ending up either there or somewhere else, but not being able to help.
You always know best, buddy. And I give him like a hug and scritches, and we will curl up in a padded coffin.
Dude, honestly, for you and Kellen, this is the comfiest experience.
Great.
Otisesh, it's fine. You're good with it. You feel safe. You feel cocooned in.
There's
Heath,
nothing weird about this whatsoever.
no. Heath, are you sleeping in a coffin, or are you putting a bedroll down like a normal person?
Man, peer pressure, right? No, I'm sleeping in a bedroll.
Yeah. And you find you kind of move a few coffins off to the side, and it's stone floor, but you've slept on worse. And you guys, I imagine you guys take a moment, you prepare everything you think you're gonna need, and you're gonna drink some sleepy time tea.
And we're gonna set up the dream catcher.
So someone has it on them.
Yeah, I do. So I'll set it up.
Yeah, like, and you did know that when you slept, even though like you don't sleep in armor, you still appeared in what your normal gear or the things you were attuned to. So you don't think you need to be like, I'm ready to fight, sleeping. Like you guys can like take like an actual night rest. But with that being said, as you drink the tea, you begin entering this kind of half state as the world slows around you. Your eyes droop heavy, but in the in-between, you hear a finally, yes, you drank the tea. Good job. I was hoping you would do this. I have to now give you the warnings of the side effects. So, you will be able to affect the dream. You will likely remember what happens, but the downside is this will make you a target. So you are going to have to defeat all of the dreams, so maybe save some of your resources. I do not know what's prepared for you, but be prepared to go the distance to whatever each dream is culminated. I believe it will be 3 dreams. I'm not sure if you've already done one. That's honestly above my pay grade. But good
Does
luck.
everybody hear that?
Yeah, you all are hearing this as you're drinking, and it's the voice of the weird satyr.
Yeah, what? But Heath has like no poker face.
Yeah. Now, don't die, and if you do, I wasn't part of this, and do not tell them my name. They're going to kill you, and it kind of fades away.
Stupid fuzzbutt.
And as the dream the darkness consumes you, and then you awaken to a loud cheer, sunlight dappling down through iron bars. And let's change over our Roll20 map.
Do you kind of trouble me for like a really short break?
We're about to. I was going to end it on describing this, and
Awesome.
then we were going
Thank
to take our dope ass break. But I want to give you a little taste of
Okay.
what you guys all
boy.
are in an arena to Odysseus, a familiar arena. This is where the warlord's gambit takes place. The grand competition that each of the houses sponsors a team, and whoever wins this tournament, is named the Emperor of Khosralia. You, standing with your friends, feel absolutely no connection to Severax. You lose all the abilities in the amulet. And as you guys stand staring across this bloody arena, in the crowds, in the seats, you notice that there are many dragonkin and scaled folk alike. But as you vaguely look across, the sun clearing from your eyes, you see. Oh, I gotta change what I do. You see a few figures standing across the way. Only 3. You see a very similar dragonborn, the size and shape of Odysseus, but with a dark hunger in his eyes and in his voice, a voice that is not quite Severax's, or not quite Odysseus's. Finally, I will be the Emperor. Standing next to him is a small goblinoid figure, scars fully across, but there is no side that is clear. Covered in different bones and other structures, seems like little like fetishes. A fully goblinoid creature, almost feral, but like standing next to him, a shadow mastiff, an undead dog that is familiar to the Reggie you know and love. And I think that's where we'll take our break.
Yeah.
So,
Oh no.
yeah, let's take our break, guys. Yeah. We'll come back at like, I don't know, 9:25 ish, and then we'll play for a little bit. I'll try to get a round through, and then we'll probably call it, because I know Sam, you want to go to bed by like 10. So yeah, but I know combat's gonna take a little while, so I just figured, yeah, we'll come back at 9:25. Let's take a break. Hope you guys are ready. What? Hey, you know who can't drink that tea, Sam? A weird spirit of a dragon trapped inside an amulet. And you know what his dream is versus your dream? You're about to find out. It's good times. My mic back. All right, welcome back. As Severax, wearing your skin, calls out, the crowd erupts. Before this battle starts, is there anything you guys like to say? I will say if you begin to cast a spell, that will initiate the combat.
Is anybody else? So you sort of described what this was.
Uh-huh.
Is everybody else aware of that intuitively because it's a dream, or do they have no idea?
So, that's a really good question. Otisesh. So for the moment, Otisesh, you know where you are. This is the capital of Khazralia, where the main gladiatorial arena is set. For all of you, except for Otisesh and Heath, you remember joining Otisesh and fighting your way through each of these groups because he had to become the emperor of Khazralia, the part he deserved in order to make sure that you all could succeed against Tenebris. You're kind of fuzzy on the details about why people were going against you, but you know you got here. And for all of you, except for those two, this feels normal. This feels like what should be happening. You are about to fight. Otisesh, you know exactly. You're like, this is not right. You don't feel your connection to your phylactery. And in fact, you see your phylactery's soul wearing your body, standing across the field. And it's at this point when you guys look across and you see this scarred, broken version of Disbin with his undead shadow dog, that he has fallen. Is he corrupted by Tenebris? Maybe. But more likely, his mother has finally taken control and turned him over to the Buyag side to make him use these dark and powerful magics. So, and when dizzy, you make eye contact with yourself. Kind of snaps you from this. The only person who remains believing this, because there's nothing in this that directly affects him, Kellen, you believe this all is happening at the right time in the right place. Unless something proves you differently. So, like, for example, when you look at Severax, or when you look at Otisesh from across the way, that's another Dragonborn gladiator. Like, maybe if you get closer, you'll realize it's Otisesh. And the same thing with Disbin and this undead dog. But, yeah. And that's kind of... So, you guys are hearing the chants of the arena. People are going nuts. Yeah.
I would just like to say on my end, as Dizzy locks eyes with this shadowed counterpart of him, this burnt husk of a feral creature, he just goes, no, 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 and he just seems to get real angry in a way Dizzy is not known to get.
All right. And across the way, calling Dizzy's quiet on this side, but Severax looking toward Otisesh. You were always weak. I should have been in charge. With your body and my power, we could have been something great, but you stifled me. You caged me like your predecessor, and I will not stand any longer trapped.
Well, we have a number advantage strategy.
I knew you would betray me, but to use the likeness of my ally is unacceptable. And to call me weak when you, the one who perished and was trapped at the hands of another, you are pathetic.
Your words shake him, but as your last word hits, the action begins to spur. as people begin moving forward and the combat starts. So, starting at initiative 23, crawling from this dark pit comes a creature with a long, wicked tongue, slithering a stench coming off it, and it charges forward. Okay, all right. So he's gonna go right hither. So this it lumbers forward. This reeking, undying corpse, hungering, festering, snapping, and you can tell it is weaved in some of its clothing are these fetishes and items of a Buddha Yag, as if they are somehow related to Dismin. And he's going to attempt to. I think he's going to attempt to claw Heath. That feels good and right. That's not a roll. Does AC 20 hit you?
Sure does.
Okay. You will be taking 14 slashing. And
Gene, my shield will rise, and I will knock 8 damage off of
all
that.
right, perfect. And then I need you to please make me a Constitution saving throw, Heath. And you have all of your paladin bonuses in this fight because you drank the tea. So you now have all your abilities.
Heath, that's +4 to this save, buddy.
Cool. What was the save? Was con?
Yeah.
I don't know if this matters, but if I didn't take any hit point damage, do I get around it? It only went to temp HP.
It still hits you.
Cool.
So.
Well, I got a 26.
You feel for a moment, this is something you're familiar with. You have fought a few undead in your time in Pentos, sometimes them making through the Badlands. This is a ghast, and it is trying to paralyze you. All right. At that point, At that point, Reggie begins running forward with Dizzy on top. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. 15, 20, 25, 30. He runs. Him and the dog disappear and reappear right here with a misty step.
Yeah.
And it seems like this tattering cloak. Hold on, I gotta fucking set this guy to the bottom, to the back. The tattering vagrant cloak, but now a shamble of itself, still holds its wretched magic. As he approaches, you feel this aura around you, and that gas claws lengthen, the fetishes glow. It seems empowered now that he is near this undead. And he's going to take 2 attacks against you, bud.
Yeah, I bet.
But you're not a giant, so he's not going to giant slayer you with his rapier. I imagine an AC 26 will hit you.
I'm going to still be barked.
That is all right. An AC 17?
That will miss.
Okay.
Dizzy, I'm going to give you advantage on your next attack against that character. And
cool.
you can, as a reaction, attack him right now. It is going to involve tapping that energy that I've talked about before.
A little dark energy begins to touch you.
Normally, you would imagine Dizzy has denied this in the past, but there is a fury in Dizzy's eyes. You can almost tell, like, he's looking at something that he could have been. And when you give him the edge, Dizzy grabs at it like a hungry dog. And I will make that attack.
Sure.
With advantage?
Yep.
Okay. Okay, so that's a 13. That's a shit roll. Let's try to do a little better. AC 17, Gene.
Does that hit you, buddy? Doesn't hit
Me?
it.
No, it does not hit me.
He
My C's
seems to
awesome.
be as good at defending as you are. And easily he just throws his shield with this scarred guardian emblem across it.
So as you tap into that energy, it's definitely like full of darkness, and you know that you've tapped into that dark. But as it like washes through your action, it's almost like you could kind of describe it as like a charcoal cleanse. Like it just drags stuff with it as it goes.
And then
Okay.
You don't feel like dirty and oily having done it.
he will take his second attack against you.
Sure.
But he rolls badly. So he will miss you. And then Reggie will attack counter Reggie. Is he at
Motherfucker.
is he at disadvantage, I think?
Let me double check.
I have to look, because he might not do that.
They are disadvantaged, so he's
All right.
he's a disadvantage to attack Reggie.
He'll just attack you then.
Sure.
He'll make a bite. Cocked. Miss. I should have. You know what? That's why I'm rolling dice and not D&D Beyond. All right. Reggie snaps and tries to claw at you. And misses both. For a moment, with an alacrity of shadow moving with him, Disbin attacks a third time during this lair action.
You dirty fuck.
Say Heath, make me a perception check.
Receiving. 21.
21. So for a moment, right? Who is this? You see a gnarled crone with shriveled orange skin, tangled gray hair, and eyes that burn like hot coals, like hunched over the entire battlefield, like looking down upon it. And as she looks and sees where like the corrupted Disbin misses, she goes, "Not in this timeline, not in this fate." And she gestures, and he will take that attack again. So you watch her manipulate the reality. But I rolled badly, so unfortunately, he is, I think, with a 16 going to miss. All right, that was him. It is now Otis's turn.
I have some questions.
I have some answers. Otis, where are you? No, you're good. Okay, go on. Yes.
Am I still a death cleric?
You are a death cleric still. You just don't have the spells granted you by the phylactery.
How do I think these beings will be impacted by my terrible evil damage?
Well, they're mostly likely resistant to necrotic, but you might have a death cleric ability that lets you ignore that. I don't know. I just
Do I?
built a copy of your character, but I wouldn't know if you had that ability. I'm actually not sure, but I know that is a death cleric ability eventually. I'll look.
Not knowing an important thing on my character sheet would be very on brand for
Yeah,
me.
inescapable destruction. Necrotic damage you deal with your spells or channel divinity ignores resistance.
Where's that?
It's
It's your level 6 ability.
It's your level
Right.
6 cleric ability. It's under the features and traits.
Dope. Okay, cool.
It's not like I made a copy of your sheet and I'm going to use it against you. That'd be the craziest, laziest DMing I've ever heard of.
That would be extremely lazy. Who would do such a thing? I will upcast. I'm going to do something that you're probably just going to copy because you have a copy of my character sheet.
That's insane.
Or teach me how to play my character better. One of the two. I'm going to upcast Spirit Guardians
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
for the 4th level slot.
Sounds great.
Let's get wild.
What's that?
'Foot
15-foot circle.
let's see. Oops. Click spirit weapon, not spirit guardian, so it's not helpful. Yes, 15 feet
Hell yeah.
radius. Obviously, my real friends will be not impacted.
Why? That seems rude.
Yeah. You want me to roll the damage now?
Yeah, when they start their turn.
Okay. It'll be 22.
Okay.
And let's see. I can also
Don't
move.
need that.
Uh-huh.
So move here. Oh, I'll like move in a little bit of a loop so I don't just trigger random attacks of opportunity.
Why?
And then because I cast a spell, I can't also use my bonus action to cast a spell, right?
Correct, unless it's a cantrip.
No, it would be a different spell. Okay, cool. That was my turn.
All right. Kellen, it is your turn.
Okay. I move here. I will cast Firebolt.
Okay.
Oh, not Reggie, the fake Reggie.
You will be at
Oof.
disadvantage.
Is there anybody else I can hit with that without incurring disadvantage?
You could hit the Ghast, or you could hit Evil Disbin.
Let me hit the Ghast.
Okay.
12.
It's Disbad. I'm Disbin.
It-
He's Disbad.
He's good.
I probably missed anyway. I rolled an 11.
That's just Evil Ash style. He's good. So you miss if it's AC 11.
Okay. I'm going to keep on moving.
All right. Anything else?
That's it.
All right. Things happen. What is
They
your
sure do.
I like that.
What is your speed? 40. Hey. All right, great. That's a great thing here. So, right. 5, 10, 15, 20, 30, 35, 40. Appearing, slithering out. Well, make me a. What's your passive perception?
Who are you talking to?
Norm?
Yes, passive perception is 11.
Cool. Your shadow attacks you, and you did not see where it comes from until it reveals itself by attacking you.
My shadow?
Yep. With an AC 23, will hit you.
Hold on. I
Unless
should
you-
have something. Well, it doesn't matter. The shield reaction won't help me.
Unless it raises it to above a 23.
It does not.
Okay.
Oy vey.
You are going to take 4 necrotic.
Or necrotic.
And
So
now the
down to
important part is your strength is drained by 1.
Strength drained 1.
All right.
See how you can keep track of that on the board.
Just make a
I'll
note
write
of
it down.
Just make a note of it. It'll matter when you go to 0 strength.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I don't like that you said when and not if.
Oh, also, as you think about that, you hear in a voice, "If you die in the dreams, you die in real life. That's the other side effect."
Right.
Stupid fuzzbot.
Oh man, that's funny. All right. All right.
This fight is Gene just playing tiddlywinks with our fucking character sheets, guys.
Lumbering out of this pit, a ghoul comes shambling after you, Kellen.
Holy shit!
You're not in a spirit guardians. That's Sam's fault, not mine. Blame him for this. He made it so they're not going to be stupid. So it's going to take It's going to make one claw attack against you. With an AC of 10, it will miss you.
Oh, yep.
All right. You. All right. Hold on. Does anyone in the Reggie, Disbin, or Reggie and Disbin, is your passive perception above a 17?
Negative.
Okay. A shadow appears in your shadow, and it's going to attack you, Disbin, with advantage.
I hate that.
It is only AC 20, so I think you're fine.
Not gonna do it.
All right, that's the downside of this situation. They're cool, but they're not that cool. Ooh. What are you doing? You got a 50, eh? Okay. Let's make this a problem for someone. A ghost flies out of there, and there's a specter, and it comes after you, Kellen. You're all alone by yourself. But it misses you. It was AC 13. Heath, it's your turn. As these undead are piling and coming out of the...
Man, I was gonna try something cheeky, but things are piling up.
Hey, Otisesh hasn't gone yet. You guys are fine. Or Dark Otisesh.
Yes.
Darker Otisesh.
We don't know that he's necessarily dark or darker.
You know what? Like Bart Simpson, he could be the good twin.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Heath, what's up?
Polling the audience here, the audience being the party. Do I do something cheeky or just try and whittle something down?
It's early days. I would go cheeky. Give it.
If you have the option for vibes, I say go vibes.
So Gene, I can see, like, once again, like the veil is kind of parted, right? And I can see the witch behind the curtain.
You can't see them unless you use an action to use the what's it called? The Dreamcatcher. So that's how you can affect the outside world. Is you need to use the Dreamcatcher as your action.
Okay. Let's see what that entails. I know what I was gonna do, but I'll do that instead and see if.
Yeah, I mean, like, you might still get the effect you want done, but in order to affect anything that is not this direct situation with normal D&D rules, you need to make some sort of check, and I'll tell you what that check is.
I vote for, like, persuasion or perception.
Interesting. That's a really interesting choice. So I'm going to be nice to you, and so you can do. You have two options for this. So you can do it as a bonus action, and it's just a single D20 spell casting check. So it'll be your spell casting modifier plus a D20 roll. Or if you do it as an action, I will let you do that check, but with advantage. The minimum DC you are trying to hit is a 15. 20 is the real DC you want. This is a hard option to do.
Yeah, I'm gonna spend an action doing it.
Okay.
Like in hindsight, we know that the correct thing to do is to try and take down. You said it was with advantage if I.
Correct. If you use an action, it is advantage.
Whew. All right, 24.
Hey, boy, that is a good. So you grasp the Dreamcatcher, and you hear like a. And as that moment happens, you feel this creature that's above it, who's manipulating the fate and reality happening here for a moment. They're your hands. What would you like to do? And you can think outside the box.
I'm gonna try and do what I was gonna do cheekily earlier when I thought that I could see her. my plan was to vortex warp her into the arena. I want to pull her in so that she is like down here on the dirt with us.
All right. Well, let me add a new initiative to this. Well. I now have to pull up another thing. Where do
Good
you
news,
want?
guys. I need to fight harder.
Where do you want her?
I mean, how much control do I have? Can I just drop her over the spinning blades?
Maybe. You tell me what you want to do, and I'll describe how it happens.
I mean,
Nope.
yeah, if he can pull her in and just drop her into the spinning blade trap, no. Gonna drop her into the Spirit Guardians by Odiseth.
Sweet. I love that. I gotta
Like
figure.
dropping her into the spinning blade trap is great until round 2 happens.
Crap. Is this the? Yes, I think this is the. This is the. Which one is this? Oh, this is the knight. Oop! I described the wrong hag to you. Whoops.
Oh, all right.
Oopsie.
Let me update my thing. What do we got?
Sorry. What's it look like? No, that's fine. It looks like the one I said, except I think it has purple skin. Here. Yeah. Yes. There we go. Yeah, so it's like purple skinned with weird horns. Not orange skin, sorry. But, alright. So. Alright, you pull her in. So I'll just put her at initiative 20, which is where she takes her lair actions.
Get her nice and close.
But what I'm going to do, I don't even have. Oh wait, do I have? I thought I had a token for her, right? I sure don't. So I'm just going to use the token for one of the other hags. So you want her close to you. All right. So what I'm going to do is she is going to make a saving throw. Your effect is going to happen, but it's going to determine whether or not she ends up in the hostile magic, because that is an effect that will actively harm her. So, what is your spell save? And what kind of save am I making?
17.
17. Okay.
Nice.
What kind of save is it?
Vortex Warp is con save.
Okay.
I
Well,
just like that news.
she makes it. So, I'm going to. So, where were you trying to put her?
I was trying to drop her like here by Odiseth.
Okay. So as she appears, magic warps around, and she kind of is just at the like she kind of stops herself from being. But you now see this. It's not that hag, but I will get a better token for it next time. But that will be on the lair action, so I will relabel. I'll just leave it lair. And she is visibly shocked. But you have a bonus action, buddy.
I do. I'm gonna cast Shield of Faith on Kellen.
Okay. A shield pops up
And same thing, Kellen. You can use your reaction to make an attack, a weapon attack against a creature. Any creature, really.
How long does that last? Just one time?
It is right now. So
Okay.
You may have actually not been around for this session. What you can feel is that you have basically like there's this like small window of time where you could like snatch a little bit of energy or power from Tenebris himself and use that offensively to like swing your weapon or fire or something at something that's next to you. Well, something.
Yeah. Does be a weapon attack then, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So you said there's a shadow, Kellen?
No, it's a shadow.
Oh, a shadow. So these are all undead things.
Yep. You got a
me
ghost
shoot.
behind you, a shadow,
Yeah.
and a ghoul.
Let me shoot at the shadow. I'll use my firearm
Hell
as the
yeah.
weapon.
You will be at disadvantage because you're in melee. Oh, nope. You're a gunner, so you're not at disadvantage.
Doesn't matter. I only rolled an 11.
That was close. Do you want to flash a genius? Oh, no, use your reaction to shoot.
I can't. Flash of Genius isn't for attack rolls.
I thought it was. But you might be right. All right.
No.
Okay. Anything else, Heath?
That is it for me.
All right. Ghoul.
Is what you mean to say dizzy turn? Is that what you're trying to say?
Nah. This ghoul runs through this thing. Let's see if it lives. Maybe. I don't know. Wisdom save? All right.
Yep.
He fails. How much damage?
22.
That's,
Nice.
you know what? That's honestly the number. This ghoul runs forward and just get. What does your spirit guardians looks like right now, Sam?
That is an excellent question. That's why I was sort of asking if I was still a death cleric.
You are what you want to be. Normally, it takes the flavor of your phylactery, but currently, that person is no longer available. But you still have holy or unholy holy powers. So is it different? Is it any? Give me if you have a different flavor.
I imagine if it's like, especially like an epic thing where it's going to die, just like a very epic dragon breathing fire onto the creature.
Hell yeah.
But like very clearly, like not the like spirit dragon style. It'll like look more like a dragonkin.
I'm gonna give you a flavor. As again, you have this weird mist around you, which is kind of normally where the dragon maw flows. For a moment, you see a glorious figure. Rennie, why don't you describe Castleroy as he slaughters through this ghoul? At least the shadow and spirit of his ancestor coming through.
Sure. There is a large set dragonborn, 6.5 feet tall, broad shouldered. He is got these black obsidian scales that almost have this like oily sheen to them. And his horns are made in such a way to kind of give him a natural crown. This dragonborn wears armor that is made of bone, clearly the bones of dragons, and he will cleave through this creature with an axe.
And in that blur, the thing is obliterated, and for a moment, the founder of this land gives you a nod and disappears in the mist. Dizzy, your turn.
Cool. All right. I'm gonna kind of look at my twisted self and go, I'll never be you. And I'm gonna bonus action Hunter's Mark the Ghast between me and Otisesh. And do I have advantage on the attack roll from flanking or no?
Yeah.
Okay. And I will attack him.
Sure.
I got work to do.
Yeah.
So, boom. Oh, yeah, that's a hit.
Oh, sorry.
Let's just roll.
I forgot to do something. Heath, did I have you make a Constitution save at the start of your turn?
I don't think so.
Please make it. You have Dizzy's bonus.
Okay.
It won't affect what you did. And then Rennie, same thing for you and Reggie. Con save versus poison.
Con saves?
Yep.
Got
sorry.
it. No. It's great. Con save. I got a staggering 25.
Great. You're good.
I don't know why Roll20 rolled that with advantage. I'm just going to take the 16 plus 5
Fine.
and 21.
Great. It's a 10.
25.
So if you get below a 10, tell me. You're good. So the stench of this ghast is awful. It makes you want to vomit, but you both hold yourselves together, and Reggie as well. It seems like while you're within a certain amount of distance of this creature, it is putrid. So, sorry. Continue your turn.
Sure. I am going to smite this ghast.
Hell yeah.
And so far we're at 14 damage.
Okay.
That's gonna make it 28 damage.
Okay.
And I'm gonna use my channel divinity of Bastion.
All right.
Fuck yes. Okay, so as I strike into this gas and I shout, "I will not be you," my voice kind of resonates throughout the party, and there is some cool shit that happens. Okay, so 3 people. I'm gonna choose Kellen, Otisesh, and Heath. You will all gain 12 temporary hit points, and you can move half your speed without provoking opportunity attacks.
Wow. Yeah.
It doesn't cost them their reaction, right?
No, it does not. It costs me my bonus action.
Cool.
Where'd that hag go?
Yes.
I changed her out for a closer image to what she is.
She's right here, Otisesh.
Yeah.
I do not see her.
No, I put her outside of the... Oh, you don't see her? Refresh.
That might be roll 20 on my end. Let me try to refresh.
Yeah.
I see her now.
It's not your...
Okay.
But Otis says you moved yourself, and she appeared outside your thing, so you're right there.
Wait,
She's
maybe
in
I
now.
don't see her?
No,
I was moving down because that would put her in it.
no, she made her save, so she managed to land outside it.
Right.
Right.
Rennie just gave him
But Rennie just let us move half of our movement without
shit,
provoking attack of
sorry.
opportunities.
Then yes, sorry. I was like, what are you talking
If
about?
I'm-
How are you? You're
If I'm 25, I only get 10 move, right?
yes.
Go there.
And Rennie, you've already taken an action, right?
I only taken one of my attacks. I have a second.
Brilliant. Get some.
And
That's
the gas,
beautiful.
the gas is still up.
That's fine. I just needed to hit him because it's going to be a lot harder to hit me.
That's true.
Okay. Yeah. Then I'm going to swing on myself. Which
Sure.
let's see how
You
that
got it, dude.
goes. Oh, fuck yeah, I do. Damn right I do.
Nice.
What'd you get?
Cool. I'm gonna hit myself with a 28.
Sure do.
Goddamn.
I'll deal 8 damage to me.
Hell yeah.
I guess I should smite myself. This is a weird conversation, guys. Yeah, I'm not gonna blow everything, but I'm gonna give him a little baby smite.
The business.
Gene, do I deal extra smite damage? Is he still a goblinoid?
Sure, as a full ass human. Or a full ass goblin.
He will take a total of 8 and 5. He will take 13 damage from my stuff.
Alright, total of 13. I gotta make a concentration check.
Please do.
He's maintaining whatever spell he is concentrating on.
Okay.
And then as you hit him, he goes, "You're just one bad day away." And you watch as his scars light up and fire with a hellish rebuke leaps at you. Rennie, please make me a dex save at disadvantage because you're afraid of fire.
Oh, what a dick.
As he casts,
I'm
Wow.
as he casts hellish rebuke.
That's a 17 on the disadvantage.
All right, well, you make it. And let's roll some damage.
Oh man, using my trauma
So
as a
you'll take
weapon.
11 half to 5 fire.
Oh, what a bastard!
It feels good, dude. It feels real good. I just want you to roll it. Feels good.
Cool. I maintain concentration, and then Reggie is going to attack this gas to try to finish him off.
Hell yeah.
All right. AC 15, AC
Hits.
16.
Hits. I think he can do it.
That is going to be. Oh, but I Hunter's marked him. Does Reggie get my Hunter's mark stuff or no?
I don't.
He does not, right?
Think so
I
because
don't think he does.
it doesn't target just you.
Yes, I choose a creature, right? It's not on me. So that's fine. He will take 13 total damage.
Well, guess
from
what,
Reggie.
buddy? This thing shreds.
Damn right.
All right.
Okay. That's my turn.
Great. Otisesh begins walking forward, or Severax begins to walk his way just forward. Actually, I gotta see what the distance is. Does he even walk forward? Honestly, he may not.
This is not
Nah.
one of our strengths.
He looks to you and goes, "This is how you use my true power." Otisesh, please make me an intelligence saving throw.
Oh fuck. You have my +4, buddy.
You sure do.
16.
That is enough to beat your own save. You're still going to take some damage
that.
from this psychic lance that shoots into your brain. So you'll take 24 half to 12 psychic damage.
Okay. Otis is unscathed.
Yep.
Just stares back at Severax.
But you do need to make me a Constitution save. It's very easy, but it's still DC 10. So you just need to not roll 2 1s, and you'll be
Good. Yeah.
all right. That was his action, as he used that cool guy. 2, 3, 4, and then I don't know what he's gonna do. Oh, what kind of dumb bonus actions do you have?
I think surrender. I think surrender is one of his bonuses.
Interesting. He just slowly begins walking 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. He just like walks over here. No, he's going to walk right there. He seems casual about the situation. And then last but not least, and we will be done. Where did Kelly go? What kind of HP we got here? Can we survive this? Sure can. But they don't know that. They're dum-dums. But no, they're not that dumb. 50. 50, 20. Okay. He enters here, and let's see if he even makes the save, and if it's worth it for me to keep going. All right. Oh, this is a wisdom save versus your spirit guardian.
Yes. Yeah.
What's Rennie's bonus? +4. I think this thing makes the save.
I think it's minus 9.
Interesting. Great. So a ghost appears here and will be attacking.
It still takes damage if it saves.
Yes, I took 11. Yeah. I had to see if it survived. And it will attack Heath with advantage. All right.
I don't want him to.
I know you don't, but he really wants to.
Okay.
All right, that didn't work. I gotta roll this on dice. Well, that doesn't work either. AC 12 will miss you.
Yes.
So great. And that is where we will stop tonight. where
Wow.
the first round of combat is over. The arena erupts in cheers as this fight has truly started. All right. Well, yeah.
Dig it.
Perfect. Thank you guys for playing. I hope everyone had a good time.
Yeah.
Thanks for running.
Yeah, no problem. Don't worry. It's fine, guys. This is easy. You guys are good. You guys got Spirit Guardians. Nothing bad could happen.
Right.
So, all right. Thank you guys for playing, and I hope everyone has a good night, and hopefully we'll play within the next few weeks.
Are we
Nice.
playing next week because of Norm's schedule?
I have availability on Tuesdays
We'll
now. So
we'll
that's
we'll,
good.
we'll discuss that off screen. But all right, thank you guys for playing, and we will see everyone later.